Hey guys, hey. Hi everybody. I didn't even announce this. This is so impromptu. I should share it on Twitter so that people can see that I'm live and the bus can pull up. But I wanted to go live because I am so sorry. My cat is now having a little bit of problem back there. Are you okay, Willa Beans? My Willa. She gets this sometimes. She was either that or she's like trying to get into the act. But I haven't done a video. There isn't that much to talk about. There hasn't been that much drama going on, but now there's a few things going on. Somebody, hi, Evelyn Joy, you are first. Hi, Casey. Is the bus pulling up? Wait till a few more people get here. Hey, Caitlin, friend, Sammy Norris, Petty Beach. You have a peeping Tom? Are you serious? Oh, just as I win again. Live again. Okay. Yes, you did make it live. And that's pretty cool considering this was very impromptu. I want to know about Petty Page's peeping Tom. It's not like a crazed fan, is it? Man, that's scary. That is so weird. Years ago, it's funny. My son says I'm stalker proof because I'm too friendly. I'd be like, it's impossible to stalk me because I'd like open the door and be like, what are you doing out there in the bushes? Get in here. You catch your death. You can come on in here. You'll eat something. And, but the real reason is because I'm a big chicken. And when I was younger, first of all, I'm not nice enough, but no. Paige said someone took a flash picture whilst I was doing my thing. Freaked me out. And I assumed that thing wasn't like cooking, or maybe it was cooking. We got to be cryptic. That's scary. Like, no, there's no live OnlyFans show. That is not good. Oh no, windows open. That's like something out of that Netflix thing, that show called You. Ain't it? Not another drama show. Oh my God, that is so scary. Yeah, when I was younger, when I first moved to Florida, I lived with all the people that worked at Epcot, and there was one other guy who was American and myself, and he was getting weird. He stole my under things from the laundry, and I'm old because I said under things. I'm trying to keep it, PC, so Cathy Monet doesn't come. But once he became a problem, once that happened, I moved. I had a girl that I worked with at Disney, and I was like, would you like a roommate? Because I need to move tomorrow. And I'm like, immediately packed up and left. Remember Eddie Murphy used to have that joke about Amityville Horror where he was like, oh, nice house, chandelier, the kids are playing in the yard. Get out. Too bad we can't stay. That is how I was. I was like, goodbye. Paige, that would really freak me out. I would be so weirded out. It sounds like you're not too freaked. I mean, what is that like going to be a picture that's for sale? Or do you have like a weird paparazzi now? You're cooking a baby. Oh no. No, I knew what you meant. I knew you weren't like cooking a baby. You were putting a bun in the oven. Or as you put it, he was laying down the hammer of Thor. Is that how you put it last time when you described your conception? Yeah. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, everybody, what do you think about the title of Jeffrey's Dew palette? There's a lot I could say. I was like, oh, the material is writing itself. It's writing itself because I want to do another drama minute, where I'm doing chores around the house and I just give you guys like my one-liners. I got my new reading glasses. I should probably be using them for reading. Look, Susie Bledsoe, attorney at law. My client, Tana Monjou, has been much maligned. It's time to set the record straight. Tana has been social distancing. She just didn't realize that she didn't need to use the metric system. She's a little bit mixed up on her measuring and thought she only had to stay centimeters away, as obviously she would. I wish people would be more understanding about Tana. She is the salt of the earth. Hey, Bruce Allen. Hi. She said she's mad they didn't pay $10.99 for OnlyFans. At least I'm airbrushed on there. I love that. You're a public figure when you have a peeping Tom and you're like, did he get my good angle? I want final approval on the perv pictures that were at my window. That's the least he could do is give you final approval. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Ali Poo. You're so sweet. Um, I did put food out for the raccoons, for those of you who are wondering, because you know I see my raccoons nightly. And sometimes they've been coming a little bit later because there's drama. There's raccoon drama. They have their whole, raccoon culture, subculture. The raccoon community has been responded. That is crazy. I mean, like, I think I would really be. Oh, not buying from Jafar anymore. Somebody said he has a new palette out called. Did you guys see it? Orgy. We want to make sure Count D Monet doesn't come. Yeah, there was so much you could say about that. I actually want to see the inside, though. I do. Um, she doesn't understand what the metric system is. No, she doesn't. But here she does know what lines are. Oh no, that was just no. Who went there? That's just a joke. That's just a joke. Tracy says the raccoons where I live are thugs. Well, we do have 2, sometimes 3 that I call the bullies. And I didn't know this, but Zach noticed that about them too. And he said, no more nudes. Is it all nudes? Well, crap. Oh, my son calls them Wario and Waluigi. I didn't know it was a nudes palette. I did not know that. Huh. That's kind of disappointing. Wait, he just wasn't cremated kind of like a monotone thing? I thought he'd go, spread it out at least. If you're going to just do like the muted tones, then do something colorful and then do something that are nudes. I guess if it's called orgy, it has to be nudes, but yeah, Kate, he does have a new one. There was a picture of it and there's like pictures of him on it, like spread eagle. How much does that thing cost? $50? Oh, okay. So in other words, let me get on my judgmental look. The only person getting screwed there is the customer. That's right, I said it. Because nothing says social distancing like a sex party. Hi, Dawn. Somebody said taking a page from Jaclyn Hill. Listen, I'm the first to admit it. I have a boring side. I like nudes. I see nudes and sometimes I get drawn in. I don't know what it will take for me to get it through my head. I don't need another dusty rose eyeshadow. Okay, just let me have this. Somebody said I wouldn't buy it for $1. Yeah, I'd like to see it, but I don't think if it's all nudes, I don't think it's going to go over very big. It's going to be very interesting to see. Somebody said I could buy it at Dollar Tree. Okay, let's be honest. I know this is the side of makeup that the industry doesn't really want us to discuss, but have you ever, barring a few things, have you ever seen somebody out in public and liked their eyeshadow and said, "Oh, that's Denona. You're wearing Blue Blood." Do you know what I mean? If somebody has a handbag, you can recognize a designer. When's the last time, honest answer, have you ever recognized designer eyeshadow? I feel like if you look at them a lot, you probably could. You probably could be like, "Oh, those glitters, is that Toddy?" But that doesn't mean it is. It just kind of depends. I've never seen anybody and like I knew exactly what they were wearing. So did anybody look? Caitlin says no one knows if it's dollar store or designer. Well, I mean, in fairness, even e.l.f., you put that stuff on, it's not very pigmented. It's just not. I like e.l.f., Carolyn. I have a lot of look. I got e.l.f. within reach a lot of the time, and I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel because I'm out of my Smashbox, so I've been using this one too, which I like very much. You get what you pay for. There's not that much of it, but it works. I mean, we're only seeing half our faces these days, but it is nice to have. I like a lot of e.l.f., but not the eyeshadows. And I have the e.l.f. Putty Primer, which you definitely don't want to ever put on your eyeshadow. It will ruin the primer on your eyelids will smear your eyeshadow. But the eyeshadow for e.l.f. is not, even if I spray stuff on it, it doesn't seem that great. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Melissa Dawn. I like it too, but the primer putty on the eyelids is not good, like I said. e.l.f. is very good for the cost. It really is. It's but the eyeshadows are so not pigmented. I'm really happy with the Marlene Estelle Makeup Geek eyeshadows. They're really nice too. April S. I got Smashbox because I went to Sephora and I was having foundation issues. I'm just like, I want to find that good foundation that matches me, that doesn't look like it's wearing me, that I'm wearing it and it could blend. And so I put Fenty on this side and Smashbox on this side, and I walked around for a little bit and Smashbox won. The Fenty kind of broke up a little bit. Um, yeah. So. Mhm. So you got what does it say? I have to remember to do my makeup before I renew my driver's license. That's a you know, they fight against you with that one, Sammy. They I remember when I went to get my passport picture taken, it was so bad. I had makeup on and everything, and the girl goes, "Oh, do you want to redo it?" And I was like, "What for? I'm gonna look like that in the airport." Have you seen me in the airport? No, trust me. I want to match the passport so that we'll just keep it the way it is. My picture was like gutter. Oh my gosh. Wayne Goss's new palette looks nice. I haven't seen that. Rimmel eye palettes. I'll tell you what I think is the most underrated, even though I wish they had bigger pans, Lorac. I've said this before. They are so pigmented and so beautiful, but just teeny tiny pans compared. That's the thing that you get spoiled with Jeffrey's pans. And Marlena still gets it right with Makeup Geek. Um, Carolyn Bird says, love all of the makeup talk. You are my people. Yeah, everybody like Sammy Norris says they told me not to smile for my passport. My gosh. Because then you'll have to smile every time you go to another country. You'll be like in the airport, with all those people. You just go, ma'am, we can't let you into Canada. This is obviously not you. This person is happy. No, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Oh, the Lorac. Oh, Lorac is so good, Caitlin. It really is. And they're such pretty colors. Such pretty colors. The Lorax? No, that's Dr. Seuss. Silly autocorrect. Yeah. Autocorrect thinks you're talking about Dr. Seuss. Any palette I get is the same. Hit pan on 2 colors, the rest untouched. That happens a lot. That's why I'm glad if I like a certain kind, like let's say if you're buying a brand, a palette or whatever, and it's, I don't know, ABH, although I think those are kind of powdery and overrated. If you have the one color that you really like and you hit bottom, it's great if you see them bring out another palette and you see the white, because I really like that. Yeah, you probably shouldn't just smile. I think that you're not supposed to. Yeah. You got a comment from the border guard. Why would you want to? Like, I don't know. Just it's supposed to look like you. It's supposed to. They want you to not smile because it distorts the face. That makes sense because when you're going, you're not going to be going, like this, and it has to look like you. That's all it needs to be. It's about function. Don't put the fun in function on those pictures. I don't know why I still buy palettes because it feels good, because it's happiness. Man, I hope Petty Page is okay with that weirdo outside. Like, was that a crime of opportunity? Or like they were just happening by? Or did they like plan it? Is that like premeditated, like she was targeted by a weirdo? Were you sick? Oh, I don't know, Melissa Dawn. I really love, I'm not just saying this because she's such a nice lady, but I love Gerard Cosmetics lippies. They're so nice. In fact, I'm wearing one now. I think this is Merlot. It's kind of wearing off because I have my keto coffee. Yeah. I really like Gerard Cosmetics lipsticks. They're very good. And she has sales a lot of the time. So that's great too. So you guys, I wanted to tell you, I have a true crime podcast. I put it under my community tab that I'm doing with D, ex DeVita, because we talk all the time. Melissa, I love it. I really love it. My sugar is completely under control. Keto is great. I'm happy. I eat right. I exercise. And I'm so hungry I could eat people. Thanks, Keto. Just kidding. Yeah, Sammy, she'd let him know. She'd lay down the law, right? Um, Oh, yeah. So I put it in my community tab. Dee and I, we talk about crime a lot. Veronique, backing up, I did not get the keto flu, and that's because I looked at what causes it, and it tends to be like low minerals. Because when you first start on keto, for anybody who doesn't know, sometimes people get a keto flu. It's a lower carb diet for sure. And if you're diabetic, I can't recommend it enough. Combined with intermittent fasting, a term I don't like. Fast is a four-letter F word. I have scheduled eating. So Oh, that's awesome, April. So, what happens for a lot of people when they start this, because your body is transitioning to burning ketones, you get what they call the keto flu. For some people, it's not quite, it's probably an exaggeration to call it a flu, but it does not feel good. And it comes with all that feeling of flu like symptoms. Well, what causes it is your kidneys are flushing out all of your minerals and sodium and potassium and things that you really need. In order to not feel that way, you have to make sure you're keeping up on those things and that you're getting your sleep and taking it easy, but not making sure you're not depleted of sodium. A lot of people think stay away from salt, stay away from salt, but especially on keto, you really kind of need it. So. Regarding the crimes, are you courting cases or doing recaps? We're doing recaps mostly and giving our thoughts about them. That could change, but that's what we did. And the first story that we're doing, I'm so obsessed with. I've been obsessed with it. It was on ABC called The Affair, and I'll put a link below to that channel. But there's one on, like I said, on my community page. We talked about crime so much, and I had these great conversations with Dee, and I was like, I feel like other people would want to listen to this conversation. Let's share them. And so we're doing deep dives into certain cases, and so if something new comes up, we add that too. But we really enjoy talking about these things and covering everything that happened. So it is scripted in a sense that we have an outline of the timeline of what happened. We have an outline of the events, and we make sure we cover that, but also add our own thoughts. Your friend missed work for a couple of days with keto flu. It's serious. It is very serious. I think keto, Nikki, would be hard to maintain. I don't know that I would do it forever because it is lower carbs. It just happens to work for me as a diabetic. It was what got my sugar in the safety zone, and I was having trouble doing that. I would think long term it could be considered restrictive for people. Sometimes people do what they call stalling or leveling off, but it's wonderful for me because I'm older. I'm not as hungry, and I love all food, including health food. So if I have to have a big salad every day, that makes me happy. Oh, you got your hair did, pretty girl. I do love forensic files, Catherine. Yes. Um, it can mess with your gut. I don't know, Veronique. I'll tell you what absolutely messes with your gut long term would be diabetes and having your insulin always up. This messes with everything, with everything. So I do lower carbs. I'm not at quite as restrictive. I think for some people they say like do less than 10. And I started out doing that and I was hungry. I was like at 11 o'clock at night, I was hungry. And so I will have an Ezekiel muffin, half of one in the morning, and that's 15 grams of carbs right there. But I do have that with my breakfast. Not every day, but just when I want it. Because I have to be able to sustain. And I take long walks now too. So I can't do that if I have no food. So then later I don't eat. One thing that was not, a truism that was true for me were those little 5 meals a day, little things. That was every single time you eat, your insulin is up every single time. And I didn't feel like it was true. So when keto gave me the permission to go 4 hours without eating, that had a wonderful effect on my sugar. And it was just dropping like 20 points every day. Um, oh, thank you, Melissa Dawn. Um, Thank you, Nikki. It works for me. Pink Fuzzy Cow, I love true crime too. Oh, I'm glad you guys love true crime. It's so interesting, and we have our opinions on some of these goings-ons. The one that I'm obsessed with is hi Kate W. This one called The Affair. And so we basically, it's kind of fun because I really like talking with Dee, and so you're almost even though it was new for us and we like just did our first one that I'm editing, it was long enough. It'll be in two parts, but we kept it moving. And it was basically just like having a conversation with Dee. And I love talking to her. So it was interesting to say, okay, this and this happened, and then give our thoughts on it. So it's not like journalism in the complete objective sense of the word, but it is a discussion among friends about what happened. And Melissa says I have to make sure my blood sugar doesn't drop too low. Oh, yeah, that can be a problem too. I'm definitely not worried about that now. I mean, for the first time in a while after eating today, my blood sugar was 135. That's normal, and I was at the point where I was, I would eat something and go up to like 400 no matter what I ate. I was really having trouble. Um, Kate W. I have it on my community page. It's patreon.com/2 true, the number two and true. But it's going to be on, yeah, the link is on the community. Oh, I could probably put it in here. Rur. Um, I can't, I don't know stuff good. Wait. Um, yes, I do. I feel good too. That doesn't mean like, and I haven't been like on the scale, but I have to tell you, I don't really feel like I'm shrinking. My clothes got at first right away, my clothes got bigger. I'm like down probably a size, but I feel like I'm kind of here. But it's my sugar that's the most important thing. To wake up in the morning and have a normal sugar that I haven't had in years, I can't tell you what that's done for me. And the brain fog gets lifted. It takes a while. I mean, the road back to health is very long. So I'm going to be very patient, and I'm just going to keep eating in a way that works for me, that makes me healthy and not feel denied. And oh, yeah, for every 10 pounds you lose, devil wears, for every 10 pounds you will process sugar better. And it is a degenerative disease. And the big thing was I woke up one morning. It's funny, you know how you walk into a room and you don't notice if it's been dusted. If a room has been dusted, you don't go, look at this nicely dusted room. But if it hasn't been dusted and there's an inch of dust, you're going to notice that. And that's kind of what happened with feeling better. One day I was like I was working on the nutrition. I was working on what I should eat. I was worried about hunger. I had to get that hunger under control. And all of a sudden I woke up and I went, oh my gosh, nothing hurts like the way it usually hurts. Like I could do this and my hands didn't feel so arthritic. And the reason for that is because diabetes is an inflammatory disease and it causes all of that inflammation. All of a sudden, I was like, I haven't taken a Tums. I haven't popped an ibuprofen. I can turn over in bed without like wincing in agony because my hips feel like they're being crushed in a vice. I smudge proof, so I feel like all of these other symptoms. It's crazy. Oh, Weight Watchers is great. I really love that. I could see myself transitioning to more of a Weight Watchers eventually, when my weight goes down. Um, and I couldn't say like for the rest of my life I'm never going to eat carbs. And of course on keto you have to keep your fruit low. And I love fruit. You can have a little strawberry and stuff, but I really like. I get to have my favorite thing in the world, which is eggs in the morning. I love an egg. Yes, inside Lauren's brain, it can cause inflammation. It can cause so many things, headaches, confusion, brain fog, blurry vision, exhaustion. It's funny because when people said, "Oh, did you get the keto flu?" I've been feeling kind of like I've had that for a long time. Like that fat, sick, and nearly dead guy. I don't think it was as fat or sick or nearly dead as I was. I was just sick all the time. So I was like, I could get through a flu. I could do a flu standing on my head if I can come out the other side being healthier. And that's kind of what's happened. And I didn't have the keto flu at all. I was hungry for 2 nights. Oh, you're 51? I'm 52. Oh, you feel that way in the morning? You feel like that kind of achy, jointy, like all of that? Yeah. Oh, you had rheumatoid arthritis, Angels. Oh, and then your sugar went down. There's this one doctor I've watched, Dr. Bergen. He said something I suspected. He said that before you get thin, you get healthy, and then that follows. And that's something I noticed before when I had lost a little weight. I'm like, I feel like it's the mindset first, it's getting healthy, and then the rest will come. So I'm able to do more. The other day, uh, I don't want to overdo it, but when you wake up and you have some spoons for the first time in forever, it's like, oh my gosh, I can do yard work and go to the store and clean and cook. You know what I mean? And then if I still have to do other stuff, I can do it. That's crazy for me. That's crazy. Um, oh, thank you, Caitlin. You're so sweet. I will say I feel a little tired. I'm feeling very tired. Oh, you're making a keto Denver omelet. Oh my gosh. That sounds so good. It calls for 10 eggs. Wow, what else is oh, a Denver omelet. That's like ham and green pepper. Is that what goes in that? Those Denver omelets? Um, ham, green pepper, onion. I made one. I've been making some really good meals, and I made one that tonight I made my own like cauliflower, uh, kind of like a mac and cheese cauliflower, and that was really good. Cauliflower is like the new rice when you're on keto, and it works for me. Um, I like my eggs to be over medium, depending on how I'm going to eat them. Sometimes a little bit more on the easy side, but I like when you break it and some of the yolk comes out and makes just a little bit enough of a mess. And I did all the stuff they said to do on keto. Got rid of the regular iodized salt, and I got the Himalayan salt because that's got the minerals in it. And I went for the grass-fed butter. It's like, well, good thing I'm eating less. I can't afford any food with the grass-fed butter and all that other stuff. I'll get real thin being poor. That's not knocking poor people. I've been poor. Okay. I've been poor. But I love eggs. They are they are. And I've been doing yoga and walking. I haven't been doing very intense stuff. I have like a couple of nights a week. I do weights and aerobics. I used to be a dancer. I was friggin' gorgeous. I was you're gonna laugh, but I was an Irish step dancing champion. And then I was a ballroom dancer. And gams like you wouldn't believe. Thank you, Raphael. You're so supportive and nice. Your two favorite people doing a podcast. Well, one and a half. Um, you were Kate W says I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. Yes, I had that. Oh my gosh. And I'm still fighting it. I fight it all of the time. And right now, the way things are, if I don't move every day, it's kind of a use it or lose it proposition. I'll kind of like, get worse and feel worse, you know. So you've been doing yoga. I love yoga. No, but it's wonderful. Like you could meditate while you do that. And I find that, and this is another thing for those of you who listen to Dr. Berg, he pointed something out that I didn't even know was a symptom of always having high sugar and being sick. He said above your kidneys, you have adrenal glands, and those can determine a lot about how you feel, a lot about your mood. If they are not functioning properly, you're going to be grumpy and you're going to be the person who can walk into a room and immediately spot what's wrong. And I realize that there could be people who do that no matter what, but it's very interesting that he said that because something else I noticed is that my fuse is a lot longer. Oh, I'm still a bitch. No, I'm kidding. But my fuse is a lot longer. Like I had a thing that was kind of a little drama on Facebook yesterday. And I talked about this to my patrons earlier today because I couldn't believe it. This person, and I'm not virtue signaling, but I brought up the ignorance of this meme that I had seen that had said uh, a certain thing that I thought was ignorant and offensive. And when I defended it, most people would agree with this. I know it. He just said it was virtue signaling. And this was somebody I really liked and admired. And he was just so far off that I couldn't believe it. But it didn't send me into a downward spiral. I've been dealing with the loss of a very dear friend. Like the world seems so different to me since my friend Jim died. The world has just been different because we were so thick as thieves. Like my other than my friend Daria, he was my best friend in the 80s especially. And so it's been hard sometimes when you are suffering a loss and you're grieving. It's harder to deal with everything and anything, and you could feel resentful, especially with what we're all going through right now. The thing we can't talk about, heaven forbid. So you could feel worse about certain things, and that's not happening to me. I'm able to sort of partition my feelings when I need to. Oh, Kate, you had limes? I have a friend with that. She went on a set with us, this woman, another mom on Super 8. Can't tell you her name, but her initials are Lisa. No, I'm okay. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. She had a drawer of medicine. We had like the big drawers that can be between beds, but with the big bottom drawer, almost like a big, wider picture, like the wider filing cabinet thing. It was big. It was a big box, bigger than a bread box, filled with prescriptions. And she had come from Texas to LA. I was like, how did you even get those on the could you get those on the plane? I've never seen like 2 levels high of you'd have to be taking a pill every second of the day to take all of these pills. So obviously it must have given her some comfort, but she had had Lyme's and didn't know it. And if you don't know it, it can cause some neurological problems. And so that's why she had to take stuff forever. Poor thing. They didn't catch it for a while. Oh, do you still suffer problems from that? Oh no, Caitlin. Where were you that you have 3 ticks on you? Oh God, you guys don't even know what a phobia that was for me when I was younger. Such a phobia. And I had one on me a couple of years ago under my knee. I didn't know what it was, and it was kind of a baby juvenile thing. I had felt something on my ankle the day before. It must have come off my dog at the time. It was my dog Sally. And I look down and I see something and I don't know what it is, but it looks kind of stuck to under my knee. And I pull it out and I throw it and it starts like running back at me. Oh, it's so gross. It was so gross. Had it in a little baggie. I called the local health department because there was a time where they'd examine them and tell you, if it was Lyme's. But at the time they weren't doing that. When I called, they're like, no, we're not looking at them right now. It hasn't been an issue this season. And if it's a juvenile, you're probably fine. So I was like, okay, good to know that a tick can't get better medical care than I can. So yeah, that's so creepy, isn't it? Oh, it's so gross. My friend who had that happen to her, who had the Lyme, the one I was telling you about, she had another one under her boob, under her like her bra line, another one. And she called her neighbor's husband because her neighbor's at work. She's like, get this out. You gotta get this out. I'm like, wow, you're all still friends? That must have been an interesting story. Your roommate has Lyme's and it's been destroyed her life. Oh, I hope she's feeling better. Oh gosh, that I would imagine that's just affects everything. That's why one of the reasons I love the opossums in the backyard. They eat all the ticks. They eat everything, but they eat the ticks and they don't have rabies. They're very good to have around. If you garden, it's nice to have one of those. Oh, speaking of which, I've been on here for 32 minutes, but I got to go check on my raccoons. I just wanted to check in with you guys, talk to you about updates. I don't really have any drama or anything else to talk about. So if you have anything you want to talk about, let me know. I wanted to announce the new podcast and let you guys know what's going on. But if anything else comes up in the days ahead, of course, I will be back on. I really missed having lives too. So check out my link in the community tab. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Take really good care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy, please. I hope you're all doing well. And I will talk to you soon, you guys. Good night. Thank you, Nana. Good night, everybody.